Hey guys, what's up? Holy cow, I am so excited to be here today because not only, you guys know me, I love collaborations, and not only is this another great collaboration, but I've been trying to land this guy on here for a while now. What's up, Max?
Hey, what's up, Adam? I appreciate it. I'm sorry we couldn't do it sooner, but this is going to be an awesome episode, so I am so excited.
Yes, man. Of course. And it's funny because I've reached out to you a couple times and you're like, man, I'm not all about Bravo. And for me, I don't necessarily watch Married at First Sight. And I think you also do Love After Lockup, right?
Yep.
But I think what we can both agree on is TLC.
Oh, yeah. Unbelievable. Unbelievable what is going on right now.
Where do we start, man?
I mean, your call, but we can talk about Darcy and Stacey season 2. There's been some drama with Darcy and Georgie. We got a lot to talk about with them.
Okay, so since you brought that up, I'm curious here because Darcy and Stacey being renewed for season 2, you did a video that said that the engagement may be over already, right?
Yeah. And
Okay,
that's what I believe. I mean, so this is what went down for those of you guys that don't know. Georgie posted a picture some time ago, quite a while ago. Darcy ended up commenting on it and basically just sharing that, hey, I was not comfortable in this picture and to remove all photos with her. And then about 24 hours later, they were back together according to her social media. So I don't know if they got into a fight or if temporarily they ended their engagement. Don't really know what went down, but it looks like they ended it, and then typical Darcy, she ended up, I don't know, just going back to the guy, I guess. What do you think the whole, deal was?
Man, I feel like, well, one, Darcy needs the paycheck. So if Darcy did end up ending her engagement with Georgie, TLC producers were going to be all over it, especially if they got renewed for a second season. They're probably like, whoa, pump the brakes here, sister. Save it for filming.
Yeah. And they might already be filming season 2. Like you said, season 1, believe it or not, was such a huge success. They already got renewed for the next one. More than likely, they're probably filming. And this drama that we're already seeing on social media, it'll likely be on the show. And if anything, it could have kind of just been forced from Darcy and maybe even Georgie, just for some drama for the show. So we're going to have to wait and see. But I'm excited for it, for sure.
I agree. And, I see that they're already following back. Georgie and Darcy are following each other again on social media. So again, this has to be a producer play of just saying like, hey, save it for filming. I do agree with you, though. I think that they probably have already started filming season 2. But let me ask you, do you feel like there's some sort of algorithm here? Like, I feel like we always start off with on 90 Day, Darcy starts off talking to a man, and then we hope it's going to work out at the end, and then she starts a new season single again.
Yeah. I mean, she'll do anything to stay on the show. The producers know that she's debatably one of the most popular people besides Ed. Love or hate either of them, but she's popular. She gets attention. They want her on the show. So I think she kind of just figures she's trying to find love. I don't know how true that actually is. I've heard rumors that the whole thing with her and Tom was just completely for the show, but it's just the same thing over and over again. I mean, at the end of the day, I'd like to see Darcy happy, I guess. Maybe Georgie can make her happy. I mean, what do you think of Georgie? I can't tell if I like him or if he is like Tom or he's just trying to get some fame.
I think he's trying to get fame. Just to be honest with you, he's super cocky. He loves to talk about how women like him. He loves to show off the muscles. Georgie is kind of about Georgie the same way that Darcy is about Darcy. I'm so surprised though, man, I have to say, because season 1, I was covering it and I would come on and do these lives, talk with the callers, and everybody's just like, I cannot watch another episode with them. But then I look on TLC and it says Darcy and Stacey landed the highest ratings for a freshman show. And I was like, this is nuts. So I want to ask you really quick, what are your predictions? Like, what would a season 2 look like?
I think season 2 is going to be, number one, there's a ton of drama with Florian and Stacey because they're not done. They still have these cheating rumors with Florian going on. That story isn't finished. Probably more developing with their family. Then with Darcy and Georgie, I think they're going to be together. Maybe possibly a wedding. It depending on how far out they keep filming. But I think, Stacey, Florian, we're going to see them. They'll probably have a real formal wedding. Darcy and Georgie, going to be a ton of drama, a ton of BS. And I don't know if they're going to end up actually getting married. More than likely, they'll probably break up and then she'll start the whole process over again.
Oh my God, I can't do it over again. I actually kind of agree with you. I think that we're going to have probably at least a breakup somewhere in the lines, and then a makeup, and then probably 2 weddings. One wedding would be Stacey, obviously, because she gets her formal wedding that she didn't get during COVID. And then if Darcy and Georgie are still together, they'll have their wedding. But is it too soon to get a trip to Bulgaria with COVID?
That's a great question. I know you can go to Mexico. You can go. I don't think Bulgaria is on the list of places you can go. I have no idea, though, but more than likely, they'll probably just, I don't know what that's a great question. I could see them going to Mexico. Darcy did say to like Entertainment Tonight that they want to do a, vacation wedding. They want to go somewhere abroad. So I don't know. You really think that they might possibly get married, Darcy and Georgie?
I think that she would get married and divorced just to keep herself on a TV show. I think that, now at this point, House of 11, or I think that's what their brand's called. House of 11 is not really going to take off, and I just think this is her job. Her job now is to be an influencer and a reality TV star. So if it's not this, it's going to be some sort of like family boot camp. Where are they now? Or she will make sure she's on something.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think like what you were saying real quick about how everyone just hated the show, but it still had unbelievable, traffic and results. I just think everyone, they know her. And for some reason, they kind of can't help but watch it. So I think Darcy, like you were saying, she stays on TV. People will probably continue to watch, I think. Not like the family Chantel as much, I don't believe. But Darcy and Stacey, I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see. It's gonna be fun, though. It's going to be a really good season.
It's almost like that. This is like a good comparison of it. It's almost like when somebody looks at something and they go like this. And it's like keep one eye open, like you can't help but watch the train wreck.
Yeah, exactly. And it's entertaining. They are semi entertaining. I feel like when they are, I don't know, they're so weird. Stacey seems a little bit more real, but they're just so all over the place. Georgie was hilariously like cocky, like you were saying. Florian is just out of his mind, bizarre and like
so bizarre.
Never happy, never smiling, never really saying much. It was just kind of fun to watch. I liked it.
Okay. Well, since we're talking about train wrecks really quick, I guess we can just go ahead and shift the focus. Are you watching Family Chantel?
Yeah, I don't know why, but yes, I am, and it's part of it. Okay, I feel like we have 3 parts going on in the Family Chantel. Okay. We have stuff going on with Chantel's brother, Royal, and Anjanette. Okay. I find them actually interesting. Then we have some drama with Alejandro and Nicole. I also find that interesting. Then we have all this stuff with Chantel and Pedro's family and that all Family Chantel drama, which is, it's okay. So the first 2 things, I am actually legitimately curious what's going to happen. The stuff with Winter and her procedure, I feel bad for her because I do feel like Chantel, I mean, we can talk more about it, but I feel like Chantel, in ways, kind of does bully her. So I do feel bad for Winter and some of the drama they have going on. But Chantel's mom, Karen, I cannot stand her and just all that family drama. I'm sick and tired of it. But the first 2 stuff, I actually kind of enjoy.
Do you know when she's sitting there, when Chantel in this last episode ends up calling Karen to tell her about the fact that Nicole's boyfriend is married or whatever, and she's sitting there and she's sipping her tea like so this. I'm like, Karen, who are you?
I know.
She thinks she's Karen Jenner.
I know. And seriously, I don't understand why she got her own Facebook TV show. Did you just hear that? That like at the end of October, she had her own exclusive TV show with TLC. It's on Facebook Watch. And it's basically a TV show where she answers people's like life questions. Why would she get that job? Like, what experience does she have? It just doesn't make any sense.
Karen's going to do life coaching when her family can't even keep it together on a TV show?
Yes, and she's already doing it. The episodes are already airing. It's like once a week on Facebook Watch. Annie and David got their own too. And some reason Karen got one. It just doesn't make any sense. So I'm sick and tired of the family. Not a fan of them. But Nicole and Alejandro to start with, I mean, that is some pretty interesting stuff.
Well, Annie and David got a cooking show, right?
They got a cooking show. Karen, Chantel's mom, got like a life advice show, kind of where she reads. People write her letters. They need help. They need feedback. And she kind of gives them her 2 cents. I don't know why she's qualified for that job, but for some reason, they gave it to her.
Max, I think you and I, maybe we should petition for that job, because if Karen's giving out advice, I mean, I wouldn't put myself at the top of the list, but if she's qualified, I might be qualified too.
I 100% agree.
So since you brought up the 3 kind of moving parts that we feel like we have here, the 3 main storylines, you started with Royal and Jeanette. Yeah. And this is already a little bit rocky. I felt like at first Chantel was reaching with this storyline, but now that we're starting to kind of see it unfold and we see Anjanette break down in tears, we find out that she lost this baby. We find out that she could have potentially got pregnant by somebody else in the Philippines. This is going to be probably the main storyline.
Yeah, it will. And it's just, I personally love when people on reality TV come on just because they, not because they want to be famous. Like, I have a hard time watching the Baby Girl Lisas and all that kind of stuff. But like Royal and Anjanette, I don't think they came on here for the wrong reasons. They are just on the show because their family's in the show and they have some real drama. So this is going to be very entertaining. I didn't break down into tears, but I was like sad when Anjanette pulled the producer to the side the last episode and said she lost the baby. Number one, that's sad enough.
Yeah.
And then that her husband doesn't even, believe that it could have been his. And then she's in a new country, and she's in a new country with people like Chantel that really don't seem very fond of her. So she's only 23. She is young. A lot of moving parts. This is new. I feel really bad for Anjanette. Maybe I'm just a gullible sucker, though. What do you think of Anjanette?
Oh, see, this is the problem, because I've felt bad for a lot of people in a lot of these TLC shows, and I keep finding out that I'm getting fake storylines. So then I'm getting a little agitated. But with Anjanette, I don't feel like this is a fake storyline. I feel like, Chantel's trying to prove something here by saying Anjanette could have potentially been reaching out to multiple American guys. But that's not something that's uncommon. If Anjanette is from the Philippines and she wanted to better her life and potentially meet somebody from America that might be able to do that, it's like when you go on a dating site, you get to fill out your preference list anyways. So why is this such a big deal to Chantel?
I know. And yeah, that's exactly how I saw it too. I think Anjanette, like most of these women, or mainly or like Rose with Ed, she wanted to come over to America. And I think Anjanette saw Royal. He's a decent enough looking guy. I think he has a solid job. He seems honest. She probably just figured it's a safe ticket to come to the States. I don't think she is going to run around on him or cheat on him or anything. So I don't think she's a bad person, but would Royal be her first person in the whole world she would, want to get married to? Probably not, but I don't think she's like bad or, doing anything wrong. So it kind of annoyed me when Chantel was really, pointing fingers at her and whatnot.
Well, I do agree with you again on the whole Karen thing, but on how you feel about her. But I do have to say, in this episode, I kind of agreed with Karen in the sense when they were sitting down looking at wedding dresses. She's like, why don't you focus on your relationship with Pedro and not them? Because it makes sense. Chantel's reaching on this whole Anjanette story only because that's how they treated her and Pedro. But her and Pedro lied.
I know.
Anjanette technically didn't, but Chantel's going to prove that she is now because she just lied to her trying on dresses.
Yeah, it is kind of weird, I will say, because her and Pedro did go through a somewhat similar situation, and she did meet Pedro in person because she was living in the DR. So it's a little, I can see all sides. I just think Anjanette has a big heart and she's sweet, and I like her, and so I don't know. I'm just sitting here thinking, God, I feel like she's really going through a lot. Because can you imagine moving to a different country, being with someone that you're
controlling?
And that's the other thing too. He's controlling. She probably doesn't even know him very well. She's trying to learn the language, get accustomed. Now she has her, new family in-laws or whatever, and they're not very friendly at all. It would be a lot to handle. And then she just lost this baby. She's going through a lot. But the question I'm really curious about is she truly hiding something over in the Philippines? Did she have more serious relationships with other men in the U.S.? Like, that is going to be the $1 million question.
And that the family Chantel is totally going to dive in when they get to the Philippines. They're going to try to figure it out. It doesn't matter if they need the Jihoon translator. And they will go over there and they will figure out what exactly happened with Anjanette, why she ended up coming to America, and her whole background. We see that Royal flips out.
Yes.
Who do you think he's going after?
I was going to ask you that exact same question.
I think it's Pedro.
Okay, yeah, it could be Pedro, because him and Pedro have kind of had some confrontation since the beginning when Pedro was asking questions about who reached out to who. Could be Pedro. I don't think it could be his brother River. I doubt it. Could it be a producer? Could it be could a producer have been asking Anjanette questions? He felt uncomfortable. He felt like it was a little bit too far. Could he have flipped out? More than likely, you're probably right. It probably is Pedro.
Okay. We already know that there's one altercation coming and Royal is peeved. We don't know who, but we'll find out. But I also know that there's a second altercation coming with Mr. Hotshot with the hair and the painted beard and Mama Lydia.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
I think what happened was Alejandro went to the DR. He probably spilled the beans. Nicole has a ginormous mouth. She probably spilled the beans that, hey, Alejandro is still married. And then when, their mom heard, she grabbed that suitcase and threw it out the door. And that was the end of it. And I don't know if they're going to be able to recover that relationship because we've seen it with Chantel and Pedro's mom. They're still not really, friendly or talking at all. So, but yeah, I think she's going to be upset and I think she's going to be mad and she won't ever approve of them. That's what I think. What do you think is going to go down?
I mean, this woman is almost impossible, to be honest with you. I don't think unless you have $100 bills like falling out of your butt, I really don't think that she's going to be happy with anyone. I thought that she would like him at first because, that secures Nicole's green card, right? But that's obviously not the case. She wants the green card and she wants the guy to be thriving over here. And for him being a manager of a cell phone store and a bartender, and also I think that little bit of cockiness that he has, that was just enough to set Lydia over.
Yeah. I definitely, he for some reason is extremely cocky. I don't know why. Cause I feel like if I was meeting a significant other's older brother, you're going to try to smooth that guy over. I mean, you're going to try to be real smooth and sweet and nice, but he was not. And the thing we have to remember is that's what we saw. I mean, maybe when they really met, there was more to the story that got cut out from the show. Maybe he was opening the door for everyone, being sweet, buying dinner. We don't really know, but it looked like Alejandro, he was trying to almost intimidate Pedro. Like they were both trying to intimidate each other. I don't think it really worked. If anything, Pedro might have been kind of intimidated by Alejandro. What do you think of that?
I think that he kind of was. I think that he thought coming there that the cameras were in his favor. He knows the producers. I mean, to be honest with you, I've been around the reality TV stuff. I've been around production. I've seen where these scenes take place and it's super nerve-wracking. So unless you have that kind of confidence, it's super easy to break under pressure because we have to remember it's not just Pedro and Chantel here and Alejandro, but he's walking in. There's like 3 producers over here, 4 cameras. I mean, there's a whole crew. So I think that Pedro thought he had the upper hand. And when Alejandro sat across from him, he was just so calm, cool, and collected. I think that Pedro buckled a little bit. He's like, oh, who is this guy?
Yeah. It was kind of tough for me to watch too, because I know it's reality TV and they have to probably give the producers all the dramatic crap, but it's like Alejandro, in my eyes, he was married. He has no business jumping into a serious relationship with Nicole because he is still by law legally married. But the way I was kind of perceiving it before we saw it was he was married and still in a marriage, still in a happily married. But I didn't realize until we saw it that, well, they're getting divorced. Now, it was the same thing that happened with Georgie and Darcy. They're in the process of getting divorced. So I don't think they should get engaged. I don't think they should take this relationship very serious, but they really, really went on the fact that Alejandro was married and oh my God. But after we saw it, it's like, well, he kind of is legally, but he really kind of isn't. I mean, what'd you think? I don't think they should rush or anything, but at the same time, it's like, it's not like he was in a committed marriage. But what'd you think of that?
Well, see, I think that there's so many times where we get people who say, yeah, I'm getting a divorce and yes, I'm going to leave her. And who knows? I think the proof is actually when the divorce is final. But in this instance, Alejandro's honest and says, my wife we were going through the divorce and then my wife found out about Nicole and then she kind of started to pump the brakes, right? She started to get angry and make things complicated. Now, going back to Georgie, he's going through a divorce. His wife watching him on Darcy and Stacey, who's to say that she's not going to do the same thing to her?
I know. We don't know if she's even filed it because Soap Dirt and all the other people that are great at spying on these kind of public documents, no one has posted that Georgie has legally gotten divorced. It's going to be public record. I'm 99% sure. Some states don't release public records, but I'm pretty confident it'll be public. And no one has shared that Georgie is, legally divorced yet. So he could possibly still be married to his ex.
Okay. Well, somebody needs to, guys, I know that we have almost 200 in the room. We're going to start taking callers here in a second, but we need to find Alejandro's wife. We need to reach out to her and find out the real story. I think that would be the best way to do this. I found him on Instagram today. And guys, if you don't know Alejandro's Instagram, it's at ALE9227. It's a private account, but he accepted my friend request this morning, and I was going through, and it's like hundreds of selfies of himself with different color hairstyles and all this. I mean, all kinds of stuff, but no trail of his wife. And I think that's obviously smart. I wouldn't leave a trail of my wife either, but not to say that we're not going to find it.
It's possible. I'll look into Facebook too, because I feel like a lot of people on Facebook probably shouldn't be saying this, but some people on Facebook keep their Facebook a little bit more public, whereas on Instagram, you can press one button, then your whole thing's private. But on Facebook, you can really kind of leave out more trails than you really know. You can be tagged and stuff and not even know it. You can have stuff on your timeline. So I'll check into Facebook too. That would be awesome. There are so many people from 90 Day Fiancé and all of the other series that were married, like Sumit and everyone else, that I'm dying to know more about. Who is their ex? What was really going on in this relationship?
Well, since you brought up 90 Day Fiancé, Max, do you mind if we just touch on that for a second?
Let's go into it. Let's do it.
Okay. 90 Day Fiancé, real quick, favorite couple. I feel like you're going to say Kenny and Armando, but...
From this season of The Other Way?
Yes.
Yeah, it's probably Kenny and Armando, because I said it in my last video, I really hate like everything going on in this season. I am sick and tired of it. Thank God we just saw we only have 3 more weeks of it. Thank God. But yeah, it's Kenny and Armando. How about you?
I mean, at this point, I feel so duped by everybody. Again, when I was talking about the fake storylines, Brittany and Yazin, this is a fake storyline. Ginny and Sumit, Ginny lied to us all, so I kind of can't stand her right now. Tim and Melissa, I really feel like I've said this before on a live, and I got ripped apart in my comments before for it, but I feel like Melissa brought Tim out there to kind of get revenge on him, to get him back for cheating on her.
I could see that. She's been cold-hearted this entire time, and it's such a weird situation with them too. I feel like they made a horrible mistake by trying to give it another shot, but this entire time, she said that he gained weight. She said that he's kind of changed. She keeps calling him out for lying. She's been on his back this entire time. It doesn't sound like she's really trying to give it a fair shot. So I'm not a fan of them at all. And I do kind of agree with that.
Well, she has this kind of negative way about her. And this is just from what I'm seeing on TV, but it seems like she's always not happy. There's always something that's wrong. It's almost like she's kind of a Colombian Devin.
I know. Yeah, no, she is. She's always angry and upset, but it's one of those things. Cheating, in my mind, is one of those things. It's really hard to get back from that. How can you work out your relationship from there? I think it's going to be an uphill battle, and now it's like everyone's family's kind of against the other person. So what is the point at this point? But I don't know what's going to happen. I have tried to stalk both of their social medias. I've been on everyone's Facebook. I haven't found anything, so I'm not sure what is going on with those two, but they're an awful couple.
Well, at least though, I'm actually happy that we can't find something on them, because I feel like with Devin and Jihoon, that was ruined for us. We know that they're not together. Brittany and Yazin, we know that they're not together. So all of these other storylines that we've invested our time in, we already know the outcome before it's happened. So at least with Tim and Melissa, there might be, some question.
Yeah. And I agree. I totally agree with that. It is kind of like, I read spoilers and I do kind of like spoilers, but I understand that some people, like, there are times, like with Married at First Sight especially, that's a show where it's so great just to not see any spoilers and really wait and see what happens at the end. Like, that is so much fun. So it will be cool for Tim and Melissa, and even Kenny and Armando. Like, I really don't know. Everyone kind of feels like they're probably still together, but I keep hearing all these rumors. I don't know if they're true, so I'm not even going to say them, but I keep hearing this rumor that this, and they might have possibly not be together anymore. And it's like, there's a lot of possibility with those two.
Yeah, well, Kenny and Armando, I did a live the other day, and somebody came on and said that it was exposed that Kenny actually speaks fluent Spanish. I don't know if I believe that, though. I don't know if I believe that, because when he asked for guacamole and stuff, he's like, or what was, I forgot what it was. It was one of the scenes where he was asking for food, and he acts like he's so like, I don't know how to say that. Just kind of Armando figure it out and kind of order it for me. He seems like there's really no desire to learn the language, learn the culture. So when somebody said, no, he speaks fluent Spanish, I was like, no way.
Yeah, I don't know if I believe that. If that is true, then 90 Day Fiance is just fooling all of us. I don't think that is. But I mean, we could see a million different things. They could have gotten married, or they could have broken up, or somewhere in between. And I have no idea which way it is. So that is going to be really exciting to see those two.
Oh, okay, so we're gonna see what happens. Do you have a prediction though? Do you feel like they're gonna eventually get married, or I mean, which way do you think it's gonna sway?
I don't know. I kind of always play devil's advocate with Kenny and Armando because I do think they both love each other, but they have a significant age gap. I feel like everyone should spend a lot of time together in person, like a lot of time before getting married. They have different parenting styles, so they do have some positive. They seem happy together, but I wouldn't be totally shocked of the possibility of that. Hey, they're going to take a break. Maybe Kenny needs to go back to America because he just misses Florida. He misses his family. He has, what, 4 kids and now a grandkid? I mean, I think there's a lot of possibility. Ideally, I feel like it'd be great if we could see Kenny and Armando and Hannah come over to Florida. But what I could see happen for the time being is they're going to still be engaged, and Kenny will still be in Mexico, and they'll probably still kind of be in this weird position, trying to get married because of all the craziness going on, maybe. But what's your prediction?
I think that they should come back over to Florida, only because they have the family support that they don't necessarily get in Mexico. But Armando's claiming that it's super important to him or for him that Hannah grows up in Mexican culture, learning the Mexican culture and with her family around. So I just feel like not Armando, but Kenny is so set in his ways. Again, like you said, there's a significant age gap, and the older you get, you just kind of get set, right? Yeah. And I don't think that he's going to be willing to put in as much work as far as adapting as Armando and Hannah would. I think that he feels like, look, dude, I'm in Mexico. I did my part. Like, now it's your turn. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. It's going to be interesting. I think it would 100% for every reason with this couple, it makes sense to go over to Florida. It's honestly, it's kind of annoying me that they haven't already because they're having all these issues with their marriage license and Armando's family. And like 99% of that stuff would just go away. I understand it costs money and it wouldn't be cheap and it would take some time, but still, I think they'd be a lot happier over in Florida. So my prediction with Kenny and Armando, I hate even predictions. I don't like being wrong, but I think they're going to still be together. But I could see their relationship being a little wishy-washy and not really set in stone. And I think they could possibly have a couple of issues. But on the other side, too, they really do seem to make each other happy. They're always making TikToks. They're laughing. They're smiling. So it could just go any way. I think they're going to still be together. That is my prediction, though.
Okay, well, since you think they're still going to be together, let's move on to another couple because this one raises a big question for me, and at least one couple does that we don't know, the full truth about. It's Ari and Biniam.
Yeah, yep, that is another good couple. I don't like them together as a couple. I understand, Ari, she's pregnant. She has a lot of emotions. I get it. She's in a different country. Her family is not there, but I still kind of think deep down, I'm sorry, everyone, but I think she's a little bit kind of spoiled. People give me hate for saying that, but I feel like at times she can be a little spoiled. I think she's going to love that baby to death, though. I think she is in love with that baby, and I think Biniam is right there with her. The baby's holding them together, and I think they're going to come over to the U.S. because she is clearly attached to her family, which nothing wrong with that, but she's going to come back to the U.S., and I think they are going to work and try to get Biniam to come too, but I think he is still in Ethiopia, and I believe, if I had to guess, I would say she's probably in like New York or New Jersey, wherever she's from.
You think she's there right now?
I don't know, and I don't know how the traveling restrictions work, but that is just what my gut is telling me because she's so close with her family. We saw from that People magazine article where they released the pictures of their baby. It looked like it could have possibly been New Jersey. I'm completely speculating, I'm just guessing, but I have a hunch she came to New Jersey, New York with the baby, and I think Biniam is trying. I don't think he's with them, but I think he's trying. And because they have this baby, maybe they even got married in Ethiopia, possibly. It might be an easier process for them to come over to America together. I don't know.
Okay, well, we see in the next episode coming up, and actually, I do have to give you props, man, because you sit there for you to look at a photo and dissect it that much and be like, that is not Ethiopia.
Yeah, that's what my gut's telling me.
I would have just been like, wow, look at that cute little family. You're like, no, fraud, not like they're not there. I think that's wow. Okay. So the next episode we have Ari calling out Biniam about being on his phone in these odd work hours. So I'm curious what you think as far as what's going to happen with that. And is Biniam being a little bit sketchy?
I like him. I think he's a really nice, down-to-earth guy. But once again, I could be getting suckered. I could be a gullible idiot. So I don't know. But I think he is a hardworking, down-to-earth, sweet soul. And he just desperately, like how Aunt Jeanette is earlier with Family Chantel, the guy just wants to come to America. And, Ariel is kind of just an easy ticket for him. I don't think he's going to cheat. I don't think he is cheating. But I think the poor guy he needs to work to make money to provide for his family. And I think the guy's constantly trying to make a buck. And that's what I perceive. But what do you think? Because I could totally just be getting suckered by him.
I think we're getting suckered by him. I feel like I think that there's something about him that I find to be just a little sketchy. I feel like when he talks about when he's talking about his relationship with Ariella and talking about kind of the roles and, how she should be a mom there and how moms are in Ethiopia and stuff. I just feel like there's something that's in his head. Like, I'm the man, she stays home with the baby. I go work, if she's not giving me some sort of pleasure, I can find it elsewhere. I just kind of get that vibe from him, but
that would be crazy.
That's just me.
That would be crazy. Anything's possible with these two. Like I was saying, for all we know, they could still be in Ethiopia. For all we really know, another possibility is they could have broken up and she could have came back to New Jersey, New York. So there's a lot of moving parts. I feel like they're going to stay together, though, because I feel like Ariella just kind of likes him. He's a charming, good enough looking guy. He'll do anything for her. And I don't think Biniam is going to go anywhere because he wants to come to America so freaking bad. But I am so excited to see what actually goes down with those two.
Okay. Well, since we're talking about jobs and in the couples and what takes, obviously if Biniam came over to America, he would have to work 10 times harder. And he's already working his butt off in Ethiopia with like 5 different jobs. Now, going over to India, we see Sumit, who really just needs to get a job.
I know. Yeah.
What are your thoughts on him?
I always thought he's a hilarious liar. I think liars are funny. I don't like liars, but I just think they're funny to laugh at because a typical compulsive liar like Sumit, he's always lying, and you can never believe a word out of his mouth. Not only did he catfish Jenny originally, okay, then he was married, even though it was arranged, but then he was married, and he has told a handful of other lies. So I feel like every word out of his mouth is a lie. I don't know what his plan is on paying back, his dad. I do know him and Jenny are both on Cameo. They charge $50 a Cameo, and they have a handful of reviews. Larissa said she was making like $1,000+ in some days on Cameo, but she was charging $100 for a Cameo. But my point being is they're making money from Cameo. So for him to go to that friend Rohit in the last episode, who at one point this friend was like his taxi driver, then a minute later this friend was like his friend he was having like a heart-to-heart with, then like a second later this same friend owned like a digital marketing company. So I don't know what to believe. I think Sumit is a complete liar. Does he love Jenny? I don't know. What do you think? I really do not know if he sincerely, genuinely loves Jenny.
I think that, I don't know. I honestly, my question is, he catfished Jenny, right? But then Jenny lived in his parents' home.
Yeah.
So she moved in after she was catfished?
Yes, that's exactly what happened. She got catfished. Then he admitted. So he finally opened up and admitted that, hey, I'm not this stud with six-pack and, biceps like you think you're talking to. I'm actually Sumit. I work in a call center. I live in India. And she still says, oh, well, I still think you're cute. And we can still keep this going. So they kept talking. Then she went over as a friend. And she was supposed to stay for like a week. And she stayed for like 3 months. And then all of a sudden, Sumit's parents realized that they're a little bit, more than friends. And that is when they kind of put their foot down. And that is around the time I believe that, Sumit's dad said, you can't be with this woman. I'm going to marry you off. Here's this other woman. You have to marry her. But Sumit never had the decency to tell Jenny. And if I was Jenny, I would have just flipped out. I don't care that the marriage was arranged. I don't care that he was technically cheating. It's just if he doesn't have the decency to tell me and he's going to act like we're in love and whatnot, I wouldn't stay with him.
Yeah, I wouldn't have stayed with him either. And then we see in this past episode where, she thinks that everything's going good. The divorce is finally finalized and okay, you have to pay some money, but now we can get married. And he's like, no, my parents still said that they would go against it. And she's like, what?
Yeah. I don't know how that's going to play out, to be honest, because I don't know if this is a spoiler, but if you go on their Instagram, we can see, I don't know for sure, but it really looks like that Jenny is likely still in India, which that would tell me that they might have possibly sealed the deal and got married. So I don't know what's going to happen with these two. It's tricky because I don't think Jenny could stay in India. Maybe COVID is, makes it different, but I don't think she could have stayed there if they weren't to get married, because she only could stay for 6 months originally. But I don't see Sumit's parents budging. So I don't know if it was COVID that let her stay there, or if they got married, or if Sumit's parents just kind of gave in. I don't know, but it will be exciting. My only fear is honestly that when we get to this tell-all in like 3 weeks or so, they aren't going to spill any good beans, because we saw that exact same thing happen in the Happily Ever After tell-all. They really didn't give us much good info that we didn't already know.
Right. Okay. Well, moving on to the next couple then, I guess, because I can't wait to see this couple at the tell-all. And obviously we're going to see Yazin on a screen, and then we're going to see Brittany all glammed up and having her moment. What are your thoughts on Brittany and Yazin?
I can't stand them. I think they're just trying to dupe all of us. I think they're both in on it. I don't know if Yazin's family's in on it. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. I think Brittany and Yazin are, though, and I don't like them. I really just think they're just wasting our time. They were never a real couple. Brittany wanted to become famous. Yazin, I don't know what his end goal was. Maybe he wants fame. Maybe he thought it'd just be kind of something fun to do. But I never even thought they were a real couple, because if you watch them, they have never had any good on TV like time together. They've never had any romantic or sweet or happy moments for the most part. So if you are Brittany and you have even somewhat of a functioning brain, why would you go back to Jordan acting like you're going to kind of try to salvage this relationship? His family just stopped talking to him. They kicked him out allegedly, and all this other stuff. You were still married. What are you doing? So I'm not a fan of those two. I think they're annoying and they're just wasting our time. But what do you think?
Well, she obviously came forward and said that Yazin already knew that she was married before. And she, so then at that point, again, we feel like we're duped. We feel like we get another pre-produced storyline. But I don't think it was pre-produced by TLC. I feel like this was Brittany and Yazin who came together and kind of sold this fake story to TLC. And TLC's like, yep, you guys are going to be perfect. But I think my biggest question is, now, after Yazin called her and started blaming her for the car and everything, and they end up going to the airport, she's like, I'm not getting on that plane. But then we see in the next episode, she arrives in Jordan. She's like, yeah, I'm going to Jordan, but not for Yazin. Then why are you going?
Yeah, she's a liar. She talks in circles. She doesn't make any sense. She's annoying. So yeah, I mean, I think she's just going to go there. Yazin's going to tell her that, hey, my dad just threatened me and you should probably get out of here. And she'll pack her bags and leave. That is what I think is likely going to happen. But because her and Yazin, clearly they love drama, maybe they'll try to kind of stretch it out a little more. I really don't know. But God, are they annoying? I'm sick and tired of them.
Yeah, this is a lot. But all right, Max, we have a few people in the lineup. Do you have a few minutes to take some calls?
Yeah. What time are we looking at? Yeah, let's do it for sure. I got some time.
All right. Just want to make sure, because I know that you have some other videos today. So
yeah, no, I'm excited. This is fun.
All right. Let's start with hi, Pearl. Pearl.
Oh, hi.
How are you?
Hey.
I'm good, thank you. Hi, guys. How are you?
Good.
How you doing?
Good. I've been listening to your chat. I have to say I agree with a lot of things that you both said. And I agree with what you said, Adam, about just not being fond of any of the couples anymore on 90 Days. Because they're all fake now or boring. I don't know why Tim and Melissa are on the show if they have no plans to get married. This is 90 Days Fiancé. If they're not getting married, why are they there? And I don't know why they're together. They don't love each other. They can't get over the cheating. So just move on.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree. They're annoying.
But I have to say, I would not watch Stacey and Darcy.
You're not going to watch it?
No, I didn't watch the first season. Well, I saw some clips, but I couldn't stand it. And I can't swallow another season. But I am really liking the family Chantal.
Really?
I am. Yeah. I think
Wow.
I didn't watch the first season of that either, but I am really liking all these different storylines
Yeah,
between,
well,
like
that's
you
the
said.
one thing that at least they are coming with different little spider storylines, which is
Yeah.
somewhat nice because again on Darcy and Stacey, I felt like we were just trying to manufacture storylines, whereas the family Chantel is just one big kind of just dumpster full of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I really like Alejandro. I liked how I know it may seem like he wasn't friendly, but he was just cool and calm, whereas Pedro was all over the place.
Yeah.
So I just kind of liked how cool and respectful, and he didn't raise his voice. He just said it straight, like, this is me, this is how I talk all the time.
Yeah.
This is my story, And I think the whole married thing, I think as long as you're not living together,
Yeah, that's kind of how I felt too. If you're moving on and the marriage is done, there's not much shame in it. Now, should he go and get engaged? Probably not.
No,
but
But I know, like, Nicole is just trying to get to America one way or another, so probably get engaged.
See? Well, Pearl, we need to get Lydia a green card instead of Nicole. That way she can just come over here, bring her business over here, and start popping them out.
I know.
Yes, we need to get Lydia a boyfriend in America. I think that's going to solve everybody's problem.
I'm shocked she doesn't have one, really.
Right? Well, Pearl, thank you for calling in. We're going to go ahead and bring up some other callers really quick before we have to let Max go.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Thanks.
All right. Really quick. Let's see. Hey, Jamal.
Hey, guys. What's up?
Hey, how you doing?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Good. All right. What did you want to sound off on?
The family Chantel, those poor people. I mean, is it bad that I want to get rid of Chantel and Pedro but keep everybody else?
That's exactly how I feel.
I would rather see, like, Karen, Royal, the family. I don't need her.
You don't need Chantel?
No. I mean, Chantel could be a friend of the show because her name is in the show, so we kind of have to keep her around. But she can be a good friend. Like, she comes in like for dinner and leaves. I want to see Anjanette and Royal, what's going on there. They're interesting. Even Nicole and Pedro, Alejandro, they're interesting. I want to know, like, where is your wife?
I know.
What does she got going on?
Yeah.
Why did y'all break up?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I want to know. And how much perfume does she have? Is that the problem? You bought too much perfume but not spending money on her? So everybody else to me is interesting but those two.
Yeah.
Just
they're
take
boring.
them out. Just take them out. Give more airtime. I want to see what River got going on too, because he's in the background too much.
He's been quiet. Him and the dad.
The dad, I think the dad is just Bruce Jenner. I'm sorry. He's just gonna sit in the back and get the money.
Yeah, that for sure. He's kind of just chilling out. He doesn't really. He knows that he's gonna get the money one way or another. And Karen's money hungry, obviously, and fame hungry. So he gets the luxury to sit back.
Yeah.
And Darcy and Stacey, I'm just how season 2.
They were renewed.
Yeah.
They need to be friends with their own show too.
Dana, I wanted to see actually because I saw Dana laughing down there.
Yeah.
Dana, do you have that with Darcy and Stacey?
You made me almost fall out of my seat, Jamel.
I'm just saying. Go ahead. What are your thoughts, Dana? Go ahead.
When they said Darcy and Stacey again, I was like, what the heck? They're just manipulating us, really.
I mean, it's probably, again, like Max said, I think that this is going to be, well, I don't know. I'm on the fence because you said that it's like something that you can't help but watch and you kind of like them, but you don't, but you're still going to watch it anyways. I feel like everyone says, I'm out, I'm not watching this, but that's exactly what they're going to do.
Yeah. There's nothing else on. What is it? Monday night or Sunday after?
Well, true.
I think with Darcy and sorry, go ahead.
They're like a couple of Barbies you played with too much.
Oh.
Ooh.
I can't stand them. I agree. I can't stand them either.
I think with Darcy and Stacey, what it is, we say we won't watch. We say we won't watch, but you watch in the hopes of
something different.
Something different or something nice happens. Like you want good things for them because they're not bad people. But I will say this. I would watch a spinoff with Georgie and Florian by themselves because Florian's weird.
Yeah,
he got some
Florian is so strange, man.
He got some stuff. He got some stuff in his head going on. I want to be inside his head. Dana, we're about the same age bracket. Do you remember Herman's head?
Yeah.
I would like that show, but done on Florian in real life.
Well, every time I see Georgie, I hear the song, I'm too sexy for my shirt.
No.
But I don't mind Georgie. But what I'm mad with Georgie is, why is his hair the MVP of every show? That's bad.
Yeah, well, that just shows you where we are in the show. But Jamal, Dana, I appreciate you guys both calling in. I know that this is going to be a little bit of a shorter show today. We're going to probably wrap it up at 45 minutes, only because we have Celeb Talk Guy here, and he has to pump out some content over on his channel too.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. So Dana, Jamal, and we have a whole weight room full of callers. So guys, I'm sorry. We'll definitely get Max back out here to do this again. And again, thank you so much for joining us.
Of course.
Thank you, Max. I think you're awesome. And I love how you stay grounded and you stay, with your integrity. And I think that's so cool.
I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Thanks, Dana. All right.
Thanks.
All right. Man, that was a show. All right. I appreciate that. I think you and I, like, the banter was awesome. It was really fun talking with you. And this is the first time we've actually talked kind of in person.
Yeah. Are we not live anymore? We're good?
We are live. I'm ending broadcast right now. Bye, guys.